being here at the podium, standing behind the podium, because I have no printed version of my speech. However, I'm here to speak to you about the winning proposal. Our purpose here today as Toastmasters, as I see it, with special focus on new members and prospective members. I got an email from Joe asking me to send in my speech prior, or some information prior to the Toastmasters. I thought that was wonderful. This is a new development. Being proactive, I was astounded, Joe, and I was pleased. And it made me think, which you know is very dangerous. But I thought that if this is what is going to be happening in Toastmasters, I want to be a part of that organization. I also thought of Lee, how I was unable to be with him on his orientation the previous week. I thought of several reasons came into my head, but the most appropriate reason why we should identify, I think, with the Toastmasters is the mission. And I refer to the mission over here. Our mission is to provide a mutually supportive, positive learning environment which every member has the opportunity to develop communication and leadership skills, and in turn will foster self-confidence and growth. And I thought that that is what we're here for. It is our purpose. It is our hope. It is our commitment. And as I thought of that as well, I reflect on a book that was written by Rick Warren, Purpose-Driven Life. I haven't read it, but from my friends who have read it, they have told me that the whole idea behind the book is that our lives must have purpose. The Toastmasters had purpose. If it were not so, Mr. Smedley would not have initiated it, and it would not be alive today after 85 years. That means that it must have had the desired mission and the desired purpose. So my view is that this organization holds for us the key to communication in the future. And if we can communicate better as individuals, then what a happier world it would be. It would mean that finally I would understand Saeed. It causes us introspection, and it causes us to look at these 6 things individually, providing mutually supportive circumstances and an environment, a learning environment, a positive learning experience. How many times do we have that? How often in these days is it offered? How often are we in a place that we can walk away from it richer than we entered? To me, that is the purpose we're here for. It also helps us to develop our communication skills. I myself thought I was a great communicator before I left where I was and came here. But I learned how to communicate, not only just by speaking or writing, but non-verbally, and more importantly, culturally. So I have learned tremendously. And that I learned to communicate through respect. Leadership skills. As a former Army officer, I thought I had them. But you know, to have some skills is one thing, but to use them is another thing. So this organization gives us an opportunity to use those skills. My example of that would be Johnny, the moving Johnny. He's always moving. He is at the epitome, in my opinion. And please don't be jealous of everybody else. I just like Johnny. In short, it also offers us self-confidence. Your confidence develops as you continue to speak. Even I, who have spoken before, I get a little butterfly every now and then. I do all the time. But you must get over it, and you get better as time goes on. Personal growth. What are we in this life if we do not aspire for personal growth? So the mission, therefore, is important. New members, prospective members, get on board. Give Dolores your money. We need you. In short, the mission does three things. It challenges us, it gives us purpose, and it makes a promise or a commitment. And there are several types of promises, you know. There are good and bad promises. And let us look at some examples of that. The Scout promise, I was a member of a Scout. I promised to do my duty to God and the Queen and to help other people at all times and to obey the Scout law. And I've already told you the Scout law is trusty, loyal, helpful, brotherly, courteous, kind, obedient, smiling, thrifty, clean in thought, word, and mind. Well, I haven't kept all of them, especially that one. But I'm only human. A promise is also a comfort to a fool. But that's why the promise made by Toastmasters was not an empty promise. So we are not fools. We are in the right place. But the one I like best is my word is my bond. If you can give your word without signing a piece of paper, with just having the intention of giving your word and keeping it, then you'll be in a very happy place. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we gave people a word? Now, someone may say, you know, in bad promises, that you do have bad promises. You can go out with Mary and I won't mind. Your wife says, don't get fooled by that one. She will mind. Don't go out with Mary. Stay home. So those are the type of promises you cannot really adhere to. But in the end, let us look. Our burden of this promise, our burden of this purpose, our burden of this commitment is action. A promise without action is an empty promise. I put to you and I submit to you in closing that the promise that we make through our mission at Toastmasters is not an empty promise. And if we continue, generations will continue to benefit from this promise. I thank you.